Number 32. We are late, but we are early. So, is what it is. We're doing it live on a Thursday rather than on Friday because as of right now, I've got plans for tomorrow. Uh, Possibly going to the fair, maybe going to the water park. Who knows? But going to do something fun with the family. I'm joined, as usual, with a bunch of my buddies, bunch of the Rugrats crew. Below me, rocking a Rugrats crew shirt, we've got Captain Kern. Then we've got Jonathan in the Garage Crew shirt. Thank you, gentlemen, for repping the channel. Then
No problem.
my buddy, Mr. Free Heathen, the Maker Millwright. Canrog joining us from tomorrow. And then Luke, Digital Dragon 3D. Welcome to the show, man. I'm glad you can make it. Side effect of it being on a Thursday, right?
Yeah, I know. It threw me off.
Then over in chat, we've got Da Vinci, Rick, Vince, Jeff, Kid Cat, and Jack in the shop. I resisted Cap. I'll allow you to be the only one that calls her by her full name. And then we got Bob.
Catherine.
You did skip a day, Bob. DJ Bagnito. Anyway, good to see everybody. Hope everybody's been surviving the heat wave if you're kind of in the Midwest area. Luke, have you guys been getting slammed down there?
It's 94 degrees right now. It's pretty hot.
It's 100 degrees in the shop and 95 outside.
84 here in the shop.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you're on the low pressure side, sir, of this
Thank you.
situation.
I am for once
So is the free
in the
heathen.
cool part of America.
And Jonathan,
15
how is it
degrees.
that Ohio is like 10 degrees hotter than Texas today? Okay?
I don't know. I'm going to blame the clouds and a little bit of rain we've had.
It's
15 feels
it's been
20.
interesting.
Been raining all day. It's been a really nice, beautiful day here in British Columbia, Lower British Columbia.
Southerners.
So this Bob's been feeling your pain right now too. He's 97 in his shop.
It's still snowing where Canrog is.
It's true.
I can't see snow anymore, but it'll come.
Like in 2 weeks.
Good evening.
We're going to go around a little bit because we don't have anything particular. Talk a little bit about what we've got going on, but I'll go ahead and let Luke start off first since he's the guest and also distracted. We're just going to throw it at him.
Sounds like he's breaking
Luke,
things.
what have you been up to, man?
No, I'm not breaking things, but I did drop something. What have I been up to?
Ooh, that's
part of the Unimog.
That looks like a Unimog, sir.
It is a Unimog. We've been working on that. I went and found some 0.5 millimeter sheets of acrylic, and so I cut the window. So I'm going to have half the kit done before my kit arrives, but it's okay. All the screws go back in the screw holders, and then we just build something else as well.
So how much of that is going to be milled on the Milo?
0%.
Shame.
Working on.
Ooh.
What do we have? Well, one, how big is that? And two, what do we have here, sir?
This is the Folgertech FT6. This is the one that's been sitting in the shop for a while. It belongs to Sandhills 3D. I'm probably just going to take it from them. But sitting
got
down
lost in
right
the mail,
in
right?
front of it. I'm sorry?
It got lost in the mail, right?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It just disappeared. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I figured out some of the woes that I was having, and really it was down to one, we had a very bad filtered inlet. The filtered inlet was making all kinds of noise and really messing around with the power. So I got that squared away. Just went back to the cheapo, switched outlet, and then I couldn't talk to the octopus board, so got that fixed. That was a bad USB cable, which was also supplied with all the other parts here. So we had a bad filtered inlet, a bad USB cable, and then for the love of God, Penda probes.
Oh,
I love my Penda probe. Don't get me wrong, right? For whatever reason, white is a thermistor, black is the signal, blue is the ground, and red is power. So when you look at 4 wires, you know you're not using a thermistor.
no.
Red is power, black is ground, blue is signal.
Yeah.
Unless you're Prusa.
Unless you're Prusa. Yeah, okay. European standards.
So as soon as I flip the signal and ground, believe it or not, the Penda probe works. So it's up,
Funny how
it's
that
moving. It was pretty simple once I got that done. And then sitting down in front of it is the frame for the Unimog to give you an idea. And that build plate is 720 by 350 by 400.
Jesus Christ.
Now,
That is enormous.
dumb question.
Yes.
Is that a glass build plate?
No.
Really?
You're going to love this for Ethan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought it was actually laid on there and not
Yeah.
removable PEI sheet. It's a
Yeah.
freaking magnetic bed.
Which then means you can get different coating beds for it. That's cool.
Yes. Yes.
That's cool.
I also
You
got
know who
I'm sitting here.
will get you custom sized build sheets if you need them?
What was that?
I said I know a guy that'll get you custom sized build sheets if you need them.
Who's that?
Absolutely.
Hector.
Hector? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking at a box that arrived today that I was planning on opening up on my stream tonight. Should I open it up?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let's see what you got.
Yeah.
Although you got to be on camera for us. Because as beautiful as that
Mandela
machine
will
is,
cut him as well.
We'll come back to this camera.
much better. Much better.
We'll go grab the box from my good friends over at West3D.
Uh-oh. I picked up some of their filament.
It's a small box. Yeah, I'm gonna start carrying some of the ambrosia filament here in the shop.
You
You
gonna
know
have
what?
that?
We were
dark rainbow?
just having a discussion about Dan and some ambrosia filament.
Yeah.
You were? Oh yeah.
We were giving some consideration because I talked to Dan before about he will get you custom colors,
Uh-huh.
but you got to order a case of it. Is the last I was told, and
Yeah.
get some official Projects in Dad's Garage colored
Ooh,
filament.
lollipop.
Lollipop.
I got my caramel apple pop, some West3D stickers, and a handwritten note that says upgrade. Thank you. You're gonna ask what that upgrade is.
Honey Badger shirt as we unbox the West 3D shipment.
So talking about custom build plates from Hector.
Oh wow.
How about a custom build plate for the Riff?
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So I now
Nice.
have a West 3D build plate for the Riff. So if you're
Nice.
not familiar, the Riff 600, it's a 600, or you can do a 900. It's basically 2 CR10 beds or 3 in a row. And so I built one of those and brought it to Printopia. And
Oh,
so Dan saw that and goes, that'd be better if you didn't have that line between the 2 build plates. He goes,
Yep.
I can get you one. So, yeah. So
nice.
Dan at West3D sent me a custom build plate for that. It should be a 600, 600 by 300.
Yeah, I
Nice.
remember that printer sitting on your bench there
Yeah,
at 3D Printopia.
exactly. So we'll go lay this over here with that printer. So it's out of the way for now.
Yeah, but you know why I'm angsty with you. You know why. Still a little angsty with Digital Dragon over something, holding out on me.
What's your problem, Heathen?
What, dude? You bring an INDX to a show and I don't even get to see it. What's that all about, man? Why you gotta do me dirty like that?
Dude, it didn't even make it in the building.
Dude, I don't care. I'm still angsty about it. I'm gonna be angsty about it forever.
Well, sorry, don't know what to tell you.
You know what? You know how you can make it up to me? You can come up here to Vancouver, and you can help me retune my J1, and we can do a Mad Max conversion on Bubblegum Dragon.
Okay.
He was gonna say no. Damn it! I totally thought he was gonna say no.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
just it's going to be Digital Dragon tours North America. Going to come up, hit me here in Ohio, hit Chris up in Ohio, then just carry on over
If I
to
go that way, then I
Vancouver.
have to go see Dan at West3D, and
That's what I was going to say. Stop by at Dan Protopasta. If you're there, I'm going to have you make me some filament. Stop it out of darts, get some more blaster kits.
Stop by Green Gate. Go see the
Yeah,
folks at Green Gate.
head down the
we're in New
what is
York.
that the Sunset Highway thing there. You get to see Steve. Killer Prince isn't there anymore, but
Yeah. Well, we'll find Killa. He's somewhere in the Midwest.
Bill's brother. Yeah, you can hit him up on the way back, right? He's going to be in Oklahoma or something, so you just kind of hit him up on the way there.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sure I'll be
Capstan,
like,
Colorado. You just
Make a
it's gonna be one
nationwide
heck of a
tour.
series,
I mean, you can cut
Yeah.
the make your way down to Houston.
then I get
Me
back
and Polymaker down here.
Yeah, you can even
then I'll
time
get
it
back
right.
to,
You
and
can
I won't
hit,
have a store because the tax man will take it.
you can hit up Lone Star.
Speaking of Lone Star,
Speaking of Lone Star.
Yes.
I was supposed to continue. So we're in the process of setting up all the digital fundraising for Lone Star. Lone Star is going to be a challenge for me because I will not have a guide for most of my time down there. So I will have to be staying in Irving somewhere close to the site. As well as if I do an event, as I've always said before, I've learned my lesson from the community and all the feedback, let's call it feedback, that I need to have a booth because apparently just wandering around is not appropriate anymore.
That seems legit.
Are you trying to
what?
say
Yeah,
we
no.
want to know where
Jeff-
you're at so we can avoid you, or that
That's
we can find you?
exactly correct. How did you know? How did you know? That's perfect.
Jeff, the problem is if he turns and drives towards you, he's going to drive into an ocean. And, cars don't do well underwater.
What?
They become submarines really quick.
Yeah. I mean, The Incredible Mr. Limpet was one of my favorite movies as a child, but
Is that the one where the guy becomes a fish and starts working for the mid? Yeah.
That's it. And he's helping the submarines and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
glad at least
camo
one
heli-
other person saw that shit, that movie.
I've never heard
So,
of it.
uh, well, I guess we know what you're doing tonight. No
Right?
fallout for you. It's going to be the incredible Mr. Olympic. Um, yeah. So, moving on. Jonathan, what have you been up to, brother?
I have done a little work on one of the blasters, and basically just trying to get ready for my travels up to Massachusetts for this coming weekend.
Oh, nice.
Where you
Well,
thought it would be cool.
Yeah,
You were wrong.
You were wrong.
Well, I mean, every year when I pre-record at this time of the year, it's going to be humid. It's what it is.
Cap, how about yourself, brother? You've been
Well,
busy.
I have been super busy. We've been working out in the workshop. Well, if you look, the Ender 5 is actually in the rack. It's next to the Ender 6.
But is it working?
Well, it does move. It does move.
When you push
I still
it?
have to do some.
So progress.
Well, it moves. I have to do some more programming in Clipper, but and I have to. I'm not used to programming cartographer stuff, so I got to learn cartographer. But yeah, coming along with that. So we've been doing that, building the blaster. Of course, I got to put a new board back in the do ender here. I got the capybara sitting over here keeping it company, and creating some new videos. So yeah, been really busy this week.
Awesome.
I haven't done a live
You
stream
bet.
at all this week.
What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, so am I? It's just promo push, or what am I doing here? Sorry.
You know.
All right, usual.
Whatever.
Okay, so I'm Maker Millwright. I'm from the Free Healing Workshop. Welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Projects Dad's Garage with Alex. So I am doing. I got a new set of miniatures that are coming out. These ones are being produced in IIID Max Filament or 3D Max Filament from Florida. I'm having a really good time with it. We just released a bunch of photos for a landing pad, a flying saucer. I believe the landing pad is now available. I am still pushing until the 9th. My model design of the Stargate style broken jump gates over on Maker World. I'm in a contest for miniatures over there. I've been told exclusively to start pushing the interest for Lone Star. So Lone Star 3D Expo is down in Irving, Texas, August 12th and 13th, I believe. We're pushing for fundraising, so we're trying to get the buzz going, getting people interested. Please talk about me in all your socials. It helps me a lot getting corporate funding. The other thing I'm working on is I'm in a push to paint up some miniatures. So I have a set of 2, 4, 6, 8 minis that I'm working on, which is why I'm a little bit distracted tonight. Please forgive me. I try to always follow the flow of what I'm working on. I have a new test program to run on the Artisan, which may give the ability to tool swap while milling. Shout out to Tech Jeeper for doing all the heavy lifting on that one. I came up with the concept. He's written a script for it. We'll see what happens. If you guys don't know, the Artisan, the Snapmaker 2, the Artisan is the big brother of that, runs on Marlin. So we run into some issues there with processing. I have a bunch of projects in the works behind me, and I am doing my best to avoid blasters, death racers, drag racers, trikes, and electric go-karts. So really, you're getting banned if you bring it up tonight. So, but other than that, got my bow tie on, got my
It's not true
pineapples,
at all.
got my pineapples on for my old man.
You realize
Happy to see Dragon.
Wait, you realize your shirt is on upside down and inside out. It's supposed to be an upside down pineapple.
Why? What's an upside down pineapple mean?
You've never heard of an upside down pineapple cake?
I love upside down pineapple cake. It's great. I don't know what they're cackling about. The boys are giggling about something that makes me feel like I'm missing out on a joke.
Oh, you're just now figuring out that you missed out on something?
I almost never miss it. I'm normally the one ahead of the curve. Especially, we do have pre-stage notes today. You know, sometimes on the show here we have pre-stage notes. I'm not supposed to tell you guys, but I'm telling you anyway. I'm excited for some of the topics tonight.
Listen, we can't tell you, okay? But next time you're traveling, if you hang a pineapple upside down on your door,
Yes.
someone will let you know.
Okay. I don't know what I was giggling about. Like, I feel like I'm missing a joke here.
Catarog, what are you up to?
Trying to keep a straight
This-
face is what he's trying to do.
Yeah. And also, I noticed that this guy didn't say good night. He said good morning, good evening, and
That's what he
say
does.
good night. It's night here.
No, you don't get to go to bed yet. Stay and do the show, you slacker.
Yeah, it's
At
only
this point, it's morning,
1:30.
Canrog. Just, you know, people are
I do
waking up
have an
right now to go to
doing
work.
an extra special guest over there too, behind you, or now next to you.
Yeah, so I've been working away on my studio. I just put out the video this weekend. Was it?
Yes.
Yes.
was good.
There's another one coming tomorrow about my streaming setup. It's I'm not a streamer, but I've spent like 6 months planning this place, so it's somewhat organized, and it lets me do stuff like say hi to other cameras, and yeah, so it's a permanently installed streaming setup. I don't have to set up separate
Fancy.
cameras.
So fancy.
And I'm able to move that camera to anywhere in the workshop in 5 seconds. So
His video is
just
very
missing-
cool about it. He goes over it all. It's very good in his video.
yeah, so the streaming videos, the streaming setup video is going to go even more in depth on all of that stuff. Building the PC, because this PC is a bit strange. Setting up the all my camera mounts. I'm trying to design some camera stuff that I haven't looked at before, because I've already used my mount that can mount any light or cameras to anywhere in my studio. It's these little things. I have them everywhere. And now I'm also working on a printed joint, so that you can easily put everything anywhere in any angle as well. So yeah, I've just been working on getting everything set up. I still haven't. I need to build the desk for my partner. That's going to be here behind me. That's another desk setup over there, but I don't think that's going to be a video. I might do some short spot on it because it's a cool little setup. But yeah, hey Shrimpfire.
Daddy.
I've been printing away. I'm working on a new build. So that's going to be my first set of streams. It's going to be a specific printer build. Yeah, so my Cobras one is running down there. Printing, and printing.
I love how efficiently you're using such a small space. It's very European of you.
Yeah, it's been kind of weird, because I've thought that having the big workshop that I had was like a big thing. I had a lot of space, but what I had was a lot of space for junk. And now that that's not an issue, and I've spent the last 6 months planning how to build this thing, then yeah. And also I'm on a really tight budget, because I mean, I don't make money on this place. I spend money on this place, so I want to spend it on that stuff and not the whole everything around me.
Yeah.
So the printers are still my priority. And I right before I started I was working on a laser, so that's been paused like 100%. I haven't touched it. It's not even here. It's still in the old workshop. But yeah, everything's
You
moving
know,
along.
I love that Canrog and Luke took two completely different approaches to having too many printers in their space.
Yeah.
And Canrog's like, I'm going to downsize. And Luke's like, you know what? Storefront.
My
I need
my
5,000
wife
square
said
feet.
they had to get out of the house. They are now effectively out of the house.
And I did the opposite. I took him from
You
my
moved them
studio
in.
that was outside my house, and now it's inside the house.
Yeah.
Um, I spent the week doing much like Canrog and working on my shop. I put up uh, finally the rack that I got over there, which is really nice. I spent the week working on projects, doing some CAD work. This is going to going to hold the Mammoth Greg, maybe. There's some issues, but yeah, I spent the week working on. It's still a bit of a mess in here. I had it all cleaned up and straightened up, and I'm like, you know what? Now that it's cleaned up and straightened up, let's tear it all apart and you know, change it all around. Um, so there's that, and then
A clean
the rest of the
workshop is
week
a
I've
happy
spent just
workshop.
trying to stay cool because Christ, it's hot. But with that being said, and speaking of projects that took way too long to come to fruition, Bondtech decided to make some announcements
Waves.
today. They announced that if you would like one of the development kits, it's going to be available for order tomorrow. No mention on like shipping immediately, shipping in a decade, none of that. But then they also decided to, preemptively shame the community for wanting to, own a printer that changed nozzles. Um, and we'll circle back to that. But let's go give some attention to Soval, who
I heard Soval.
re-
You got my whole attention here. What's going on?
released some specs for the M1D. Is that right?
Yes.
The
M1D,
M1D.
yes.
So it seems
And we
like that's
now,
going to be a 300 by 300 by 350 printer
yep.
with, smaller build volumes depending on IDEX, index, all that kind of stuff. I guess there's going to be options for enclosures and
Yes.
non-enclosure.
So
Yes.
there's two options currently. There's two
And
options
I
currently.
guess
You have the base, and then you have their quote pro version.
the base is like 1,200 or something. Is that right?
Yep,
Starting,
1,200, 1,200, and if you they have a VIP pricing at 11.99 right now.
and then
USD.
also
Yes, US.
some general information on the printer. Uh, Very important though, that if I read this right, they're doing
Pardon?
ceramic heaters for the hot ends. Bondtech, they're doing ceramic heaters, non-induction.
And
Oh,
Also,
yes.
yep,
Ceramic heating elements.
I need to know whether or not I need to worry about availability for parts for my induction cooking surfaces, since Bondtech somehow believes they have rights to induction heating. Um, and then, yeah, so really awesome to see. The only thing
and
on this entire sheet that really bugged me was the nozzle size, right? So point
Yeah.
0.4
mhm.
to point 0.8. There's no point 0.2,
Or
which
2.5. Yeah.
yeah,
Not yet.
I would have liked to see the option to go down to at least 0.25. Um, but the rest of it's
Yeah,
pretty
not
much in
yet.
line with what you would expect for a modern printer.
Well,
Oh,
let's
and they
be
come with
very
hardened
clear
steel
here.
nozzles.
Let's be
It
very
comes
clear.
standard. It comes
It
standard with
does.
hardened steel nozzles.
300C.
Yeah, so unlike the U1, which I've got the hardened steel nozzles right here in my hand, which need to go
Yeah.
in the front at some point.
The bed does only go up to 100C. I would have liked to see that go up to 110.
Yeah.
And the nozzle only goes up to 300, which is going to put you a little under where you'd want to be. I would have liked to see that go to 350, but
Yeah.
it's what it is.
Remember,
Um,
this is an open source project, though. They've been very clear that they're looking for open source opportunities with this.
I'm glad you mentioned that because, as of what we understand currently, the OS on this is going to be Clipper.
Yes.
Full-blown
Fully
clipper.
moddable, do whatever you want. So if you want your nozzle temperature to go to 350, all you do is go into your Clipper printer.cfg config and you change that. Now, the ceramic heaters do start hitting, they will only get so hot. And that's one of the nice things about PTC heaters is that they cannot thermally run away infinitely like a heater cartridge can. They're only going to get so hot. At 350, you're really pushing it. I've pushed the Rapidos to that with the PTC heaters, but it is what it is. I didn't notice on here, does it have any information for the bed? Heated bed. I would have liked to know the thickness of their bed since the SV08 is the one that had the issue with the taco bed.
Yeah,
Am I
it was a
correct
6
on that?
millimeter bed.
So I
Yeah.
would have liked to see some information where that's concerned as to hey, it's coming with a 6 millimeter thick cast aluminum bed or like what it's actually got.
Yeah,
But
it should be an 8. It should be an 8 millimeter, but because the SV08 had a 6 millimeter and it was too thin. So
did it have yeah. Well, regardless, I would have liked to see some information on that.
yeah.
But does anybody else have anything on the Sovol thing? I didn't see anything from Creality's Cleatech thing this week.
They have not released any more information on theirs.
There was a couple of teasers about Cleatech, but that's all there was. There was like no other news. There was just some, I guess, some posters that they threw up on Instagram and Facebook about, coming soon. That was about it. But so there is a possible third printer coming that will be a slightly smaller size in the 256, 260 range. That'll have 2 less heads. It won't be an INDX, and it will have only 4 index heads, I think. It's a rumor at the moment.
That's okay. Again, it's fitting into the prosumer environment, right? And if you look at it, it says like the Open One, PLA, PETG, and PVB, or PVA.
Yeah.
Like it's still cool, but the prosumer version, the top end, is what you're looking for because having that opportunity.
Well, so they're taking themselves out of the prosumer market with their pricing now.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be staying underneath the $1,500 price tag.
Except for the complete machine.
They're taking the public's feedback and saying, we can't do this because of the Creality product that's coming out that's rumored to be $1,000 or right around that $1,100, $1,200 price tag, and the U1 that's already out at $1,000 price tag, just under
$850.
Well, that's why it's $850 now.
No.
But it came out at $1,000.
Yeah, fair enough. Sorry, apologies.
Yeah. And then Flash Forges, well, sad product.
Yeah.
So there's already multiple competitors out there. If you want to say FlashForge, it's a competitor at the moment, but
You're so mean.
that
Oh,
are
so close
underneath
yet so far.
that price tag. They have to stay underneath that prosumer price tag in order to compete with the market. Even though they're adding IDEX index together, nobody cares about that if they go over that price point.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And really, that price point
The-
was set by the Bamboo A1 combo,
Yeah.
like years ago.
You're talking about the X1 combo at 1200. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you. Yeah.
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 $1,200 seems to be a sweet spot in the market. I don't think there's an issue with making an offering at a higher price point. Obviously, there's a market for it. And you got printers in the world like the H2D, the H2C, the H2S, all hitting that above 1,200 price point. Obviously, there's buyers at that price. I'm a buyer at $1, but
50 cent.
$1,200, and honestly, if you can hit your
And
printer,
a bottle of baby oil.
Listen here: quarter sandwich, 3 maker chips, and a print and place truck. That's my final offer.
Again, a buyer at $1.
Yeah. But
if you can get your price down to where it at least has an offering sub 1,000, there's a big mental break there. Same as there is at there's a huge mental difference between $499 and $500.
Yes, there is. There is.
All right. So I'm happy to see that. This is one time that I'm happy to see a printer go, a company go, we're going to offer this without the enclosure. Because I think a lot of people that would be interested in this machine don't care about printing high temp material. I don't think most people that are printing multicolor or multi-material even care about it. Honestly, most of them are printed. If they're doing multi-material, they're doing PLA and PETG or TPU and PLA.
Seriously, when was the last time
having
you
the
said
option for that is fine in my book.
When was the last time you, me, or anybody else sat down and said, I'm going to print a 4-color ABS or ASA print?
Probably never.
I did the skirts for the rebuild.
That's literally the only time I've ever done it.
I don't have a
I'm
machine
looking at one right now that I want to, because
literally the only time.
I've got the that blaster video with the Ontos where I need to print it in a bunch of different materials and stuff like that. And it'd be cool to be able to do them in different colors in ABS and stuff like that. But for the most part,
Jurgman, we are special types of people. We're not everyday just printing people.
Special type.
I used to do dual color ABS in my J1, right? I had to do the whole upgrade kit and everything for it. But that's dual color, right? Like, I get that. So when you're looking at 4-color systems, right?
What I'm saying is the printer manufacturers need to look at the average person that prints. They don't print with ABS, ASA, and so forth. They print with PLA and PETG at most.
PLA is the dominant material in the market, without a doubt.
They make, this is what they make, right here.
Yeah.
They make flexi things. They make gadgets and toys and stuff like that. They don't make the things we make.
No, they're not building machine parts. They're not building machines. They're not,
the masses make this stuff.
And I get the reference. Death racers and dart flingers and machine repairs. Like, I do machine repairs with nylon. Like I get that. Right?
This is what the masses make right here. Right here.
I hate you so much. I hate you. Just the burning passion.
They make twerking millwrights in full color.
Strongly
Twerking-
dislike.
Do you have the FTL for that? It seems like a good test print to test machines
It
that you've got to
does.
maybe do repair for cheaties and stuff.
Yeah.
Not necessary.
I should send that to Luke. I could send that to Luke.
Might need to be printed for Lone Star.
Not necessary. And and if I do Lone Star, I do have a booth. I do not need a 300 mil tall twerking millwright on my table. That is not a requirement. Thank you.
There's a difference between need and gift. And you can't dispose of a gift. That'll be rude, right?
I will give the
I will
same
build
line.
you a blaster with a twerking millwright image printed into the handle.
Please do that.
Manrock knows my
STL in
weakness
chat, please.
because you know I cannot. You know it is rude to turn down a gift. So yes, and the one that Jonathan has was on
Amen, Vince.
was
Amen.
on my table. It was.
Yes,
By the way,
I made sure it didn't go to waste.
By the way, this requires no supports. Just saying.
So what everyone needs to do is print that model,
Cap, do you have
put a
that
little
posted
bow on
your
it.
No, it
printables
is not
page?
necessary. It is really not necessary.
No, I've
No,
never
everyone should
uploaded
print it,
but I
put a
could.
little bow on it, and then put it on his booth. He can't toss it
provide
away.
the
He has
file,
to bring it with
please.
him.
Yeah,
Provide
Luke would like the file.
please.
Not
Cody
necessary.
would like the file.
No, not necessary.
Yep, perfectly necessary.
Not necessary.
I see nothing wrong
I tell
with
you
this.
what.
Listen, the funding for Lone Star is necessary, but a twerking millwright is not necessary.
Luke,
Oh, yeah,
I tell
it
you
is.
what. If,
I feel
for-
like we could
I will
work
upload. I will put it
twerking
in the
millwright
disc. I will put it
imagery
in the
into the
projects.
Mad Max
Yes.
V0 rebuild.
Yes.
Good one, Phil. Good one.
Yes. Twerking millwrights are the new maker chips.
Unnecessary. Deeply unnecessary.
Should I squash it into a maker chip
Might be interesting.
or a maker platter? Maker platter.
Oh, man. And then we can send it to Brad to go with the charcuterie one.
Well, the
Do you think
benefit is, I
Do
know
you
the
think there's
vast
enough
majority of our
resolution to put upside down pineapples on the shirt, though?
Oh,
What? No, that model's far too small to put any. Well, no, because what's that new resin machine they're talking big about? Hay gears. I don't know if you guys
Yep.
were looking at that. I was looking at the hay gears. I was really
Hey.
impressed with that.
Hey, so hey Gears, if you're watching, just to let you know, I need a demo printer for this model right here, just so I can put pineapples on the shirt. Thank you.
Why do I do this podcast again? I forget.
Because you like it, you enjoy it.
Because there's something wrong with us all.
That I will agree with. Absolutely.
Huh. Oh,
All right.
man.
Now, to the next thing.
Next.
Sunlu. Bringing manufacturing of
This is gonna be-
Sunlu filament
yes.
to the U.S. I'm excited to see it. I don't care what your opinions are on Sunlu filament. I've had nothing but good luck with it. They make some good white label filament. I bet you have some in your house. But bringing more filament manufacturing stateside is nothing but a benefit to everybody.
So when I
it
was
is.
talking to them, because they sent me some material, and out of everything they sent, everything was pretty average, like pretty good, like reliable. Luke, can you turn your camera down just a little bit because your name is being blocking your beautiful mug. So the lines were good, but I kind of really liked the Sunlu PLA 2 Plus. And as you guys know, I really like the engineering material for anything I work on. And I felt that was just, you guys have your opinions on Sunlu, more power to you. And again, I have a bias because they sent me some material. But in my research, in my looking, because I compare them to everything I've already got, I did like the Sunlu PLA 2 Plus, and I really I really like the idea, and I really find that exciting that there's going to be more USA manufacturing, because I think that's great, personally, more North
Yeah.
American in general.
I'm going to be honest. When Lulzbot kind of teetered out, um, I had
Which
I had
time?
real worries about
Which time?
stateside manufacturing of printer stuff. Um, and then Polymaker opened up a facility in Texas. Now you've got Sunlu. Um, and I know that a lot of states right now are really trying to hammer on 3D printing. But the more industry that we have stateside that is manufacturing 3D printers, 3D printer accessories, right? Hank Hill would be proud. And it's going to make those legislators more hesitant to pass sweeping bans because you're going to be affecting US based manufacturing and stuff like that. And it's going to protect this hobby for everybody having these companies come into the States. Whether or not it drives down prices or anything like that, I don't know. I don't care. But I do know that when laws affect U.S. companies, those laws are way harder to get passed in the States.
I mean, like when the film cost is the same, I try to buy American made when I can.
So
Well, you get it
I had
faster
a
too,
think.
right?
I had a little bit of a think about this whole, because like most of you know, I'm not in the U.S. I'm in Europe. I'm not even in the EU, if anyone knows that stuff. But so the whole thing about 3D printing and the politics over in the U.S. right now, I think the main issue is that there's no big brands
Yeah.
using printers as manufacturing. Because over here we have Volkswagen and Skoda, which is owned by the Volkswagen Audi Group, but they use 3D printing in their production of vehicles. It's not just for testing and that stuff. They actually manufacture parts that goes on cars.
Yes,
So
they do.
imagine
BMW's
a
doing
company,
that too, right?
yeah, and BMW. There's a bunch of them. Toyota has a big factory. Like some of the biggest print farms in the world are auto manufacturers.
Yep.
And imagine if Ford or Chevy or Tesla, for that matter, went that way and used them for production, set up a huge farm. That would make them interested in all of this politics stuff, and then you would get the auto manufacturers in on it.
Yep.
Let's say, as an example, if Ford set up a big factory, 100 plus printers in their production unit, and then there was some politics that got involved and say, hey, we don't want 3D printing being what it is, and they want to control it, then all of the auto manufacturers would group together and fight it, which is that has happened before.
Yep.
We saw that in like the early 2000s with paint. There was some regulatory stuff with paint. That happened both here and in the US, and there was some fighting, and then it just led to the fact that the manufacturers, the ones that needed it the most, took up the bill, took the cost of fighting. And if someone were to get, let's get some people from the car manufacturers in the US come to visit a car manufacturer here and see what they use printing for, and maybe.
So, I am in the automotive manufacturing sphere. We are a supplier for auto manufacturers. And we use 3D printing. I worked at a automotive manufacturer, and they were using 3D printing. It's not it's not a huge part of the manufacturing process, but these laws, by and large, are not getting passed in states with a large manufacturing base.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's consumer states.
because if one state starts and then because we've already seen this, one state starts to talk about it and then another state starts talking about it, and it starts to spread. It's like a virus, the whole thing.
And remember, everything that happens with you guys, you Americans, that parallels throughout the world, right? I've said before how much what California does or Washington does affects what happens here in British Columbia or here in Canada, right? So it does end up being a thing for sure.
Yeah.
So,
But then you
I
also
just
have the situation where some states over here will pass something, and then other states that are different will actively pass legislation protecting that thing. So
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see if we end up with any states that actively pass legislation that protects 3D printing.
this is
and
an
what it
actual
is
interesting conversation because I actually just had Chat GPT. I asked them this exact question. Ford Motor Company uses HP's MJF technology as well as standard FDM and as well as metal LPBF printing. They use it for brake lines, HVAC clips, assembly parts, and Mustang accessories. In
it's
production,
literally it's the future, man. No matter how much people want to fight
General,
it,
yeah, General Motors uses metal printing and polymer printing for Cadillac trim, assembly brackets, and low volume production parts. Tesla uses metal and polymer printing for mostly for tooling and production end use production components.
Yeah, so
And then there's
most
a
of
bunch of
these,
smaller companies.
yeah,
So
most of
we
them
are
use
using
a
it in the U.S.
yeah, but not at the same extent.
yeah, it's not big
So
enough.
if you
Yeah.
look at a Volkswagen, Skoda, Audi, there's a bunch of different brands under the same mother company. They have huge FDM facilities. And I mean
Hmm.
huge FDM facility. They print whole parts that they use mostly in the interior part of the car because you can just print it and wrap it in fabric and it's
Yeah, you're
done. You
done.
don't have to do any post processing. They can just print it, and that makes it so that they can quickly make changes. And that's the whole thing about FDM printing or
Yeah.
3D printing versus injection molding in its whole, that you don't have to reproduce new molds. You can
Yeah.
just keep making revisions. Because I think pretty much any industry right now is using 3D printing in some capacity. It's just the volume. If you get enough volume through, then the voice gets bigger.
Now, ironically, a supercar company here in the United States called Zinger Vehicles is the only one that has basically done giga farms,
Yeah.
essentially, when it comes to 3D printing. Most over 55% of their vehicles are 3D printed.
Which is impressive.
Which is
That
no
is
joke. Yeah.
extraordinarily impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not a
Um,
big enough company, right?
no, they're not.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
they're very niche.
yeah. But imagine if 30% of the interior parts in a production vehicle on one of the big companies were FDM printed. That would give a huge power to them to an interest to fight for it, because like Medic Vin said, his printer came from Toyota, and that Prusa XL is open source.
Yeah.
So that would mean that Toyota would have some interest in keeping open source going as it is.
Well, yeah, because then they can do their own private tooling. They can do they're allowed, because with the open source you can actually develop your own subsystems that you don't necessarily have to release if you're keeping them in a closed architecture.
Yes.
Which
But
I
until
know
that
that's the
argument-
debate.
Yeah. But until that argument comes to that state that they're in, they don't care.
Yeah. So we were hoping for this snowball effect that multiple states going to start talking about it, and then the right state, the right people, the right companies get involved. it's a bit of a house of cards, but hopefully it falls the right way. I'm optimistic, just because there's some stuff in this that seems impossible to enforce.
Oh, it absolutely, all of it does.
Yeah.
And that's the current debate. And anyone who knows about it, it's like there's enough technology there that allows you to say one thing is something when it's not, and then to say something that isn't is, right? Sorry, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? Like the two sides. So it's and even things like there's a lot, but it's very interesting, and the shadow of all of this talk, which is ridiculous to start with, is that shadow is all over the world now, and it's
Yeah.
blackened the eye of the not just the hobbyist community or the content creator or the business side. It's blackened the eye of the whole thing in general by adding fear mongering to it.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
we're seeing this. There's a thing happening right now in gaming, console gaming, where some games are being removed from online storefronts that you've already purchased. So even if you had it installed, it will be deleted from your console because there are some rights issues. This has also happened to digital content and in videos and TV series and stuff. And it's the same. It's a similar thing where you bought a thing, you expected it to work, and then someone just removes it from you. You could go down that path when it comes to 3D printing, because we buy a printer as a tool, and you expect it to be able to print what you want. But then suddenly it doesn't. Then should you, as a consumer, take that up with your manufacturer of the printer that you bought, or the politicians in the state that you live in or country? It's a really small thing for someone to be saying, "Hey, I'm scared of people making their own
whatever.
lethal sticks," to becoming this whole thing about, do you want to give up all of your purchases? Because we buy models, right?
Yep.
If
Oh,
they
yeah.
banned any model that looked like a pew pew stick, I think some of the people in here would be upset because you couldn't print.
Well, just the simple fact that they're going to ban something that looks like a trigger,
Yeah.
which means I can't print anything for a replacement part for a Nerf blaster, drill, a weed whacker, or anything that looks like a trigger. And
Yeah.
then it just opens it up because now they have the mechanism to do DCMA rights. And then
Which
they'll
is what
go
this
through
is
and
all about.
they'll start crapping all your models. So even if you paid for it, like you said, you can't print it. Even if your license was like for personal use, and you were going to print it for personal use, and all of a sudden they go, nope, it's going to be copyrighted. We don't want you to even have it for personal use.
Yeah. Here's what's wrong with the world today, right? So here's a story. Last year, my daughter went to go pick up my older daughter went to go pick up my younger daughter, and they found a little tree frog. Okay, and if you take the representation that the tree frog is the money that companies get to make, right? Their intellectual properties, all that stuff, right? And the company itself is my daughter, right? And you're holding on to that she's holding on to that frog, trying to protect it, trying to keep it safe. But all that happened was she ended up killing it. She didn't mean to. She was trying to hold on to it and keep it safe. And these companies are trying to hold on to their intellectual property, their ideas, their what they see as their source of revenue so tight that they kill it. And then, you know, once their source of income and their intellectual stuff, they're gone. right? They die right along with it. And these companies do not see that they are killing themselves. At the end of the day, they will destroy themselves because they don't want to allow others to use their stuff. And all that does is, as you're over here being a fucking patent troll, or, you know, trying to make sure that Jonathan doesn't print a Supergirl outfit for himself.
I think Kurz
You
will
just
also
it's
do
like,
a
okay, fine, I'm going to move on, right? And now I'm not interested anymore, right? And Bondtech is busy doing this right now, and it's just you're alienating people, you're pissing people off, and then you better make sure that you never step on anybody else's patent. Because guess what? If you wanted to be a fucking dick,
Yeah.
somebody else is going to come back and be a fucking dick right back. And that's just how it works, right? And so you're probably much better off going, hey, you know what? I made this thing. I see you kind of had the same idea. You came a little later than me, whatever. Give me $1 off of every machine you make. We'll call it even. Right? License out the technology, whatever it is, right? Figure it out. Be like, hey, you know what? You've got this thing, and I'd really like to be able to use it. How about we make a deal where, hey, Millwright, I can use this bit of your content, and you can use this bit of mine.
Well,
Right?
in the digital space, there's actually a lot of us that do that. We'll do a collab or we'll do a conjoined project. There's actually a fair number of us, and even in my small little world, there's a fair number of that growth. And we're all still trying to protect our IP. We're still trying to make some money. We're independent creators, so I get it. But when you get into these mass things, look at Hollywood. Hollywood cannot release because there's such a closed circuit. They don't let new people in. They kind of keep it tight, right? They're dying, and that movie industry has been around 100 years, and it's falling through the roof. Fail after fail after fail with these big companies because they don't want to go down that route of finding new creatives and finding those new opportunities. And when it comes to Bondtech, if Bondtech made a system that was available to other companies under license, then their name would last forever because it would be in so many different machines.
Look
Right?
at E3D.
Yeah.
Look at E3D. They made something and they gave it to the world. E3D is, by all accounts, a successful business, and they weren't out here being dicks.
Well, look at an
They
example of the car
sure
industry is
weren't
Tesla.
beating up on the consumers that bought something, right?
Look at Volvo.
Yeah.
They made the car belt, the safety belts for cars.
Seatbelt, yep.
Yeah.
Seatbelt, yep.
And they had the option to put a patent on it, but they didn't. They just said, this is the thing that's going to save a lot of lives. Let's give it to the world. I'm not saying that everyone should do that to anything, but but for the grand scheme of things, someone has to do something to keep things alive.
Yeah. There's other ways to monetize an idea other than preventing anybody else from fucking using it.
Absolutely.
And if I can go back to that bit with Canrog talking about the digital asset movies. Now, 2 years ago, I warned about this because Netflix had started pulling things and Xbox had pulled a few, because of they didn't even explain. But this is why I've been saying, and it's so funny because I said as soon as Sony stopped making Blu-rays, I was like, there you go, guys. It's going to create a whole new market. And I was like, no. I'm like, yeah, because digital assets can be turned off. You can turn them off. Yeah. It's like I say with live streaming or my internet designs. If you don't have them, I have one button I push and it's all gone. All of it. And that's not a good thing, which is why I recommend if you buy models, download them. Keep them safe. But when it comes to digital assets, There's gonna have to be mass manufacturing. DVDs is a good example. I made the terrible mistake of buying an Xbox without a CD-ROM drive in it, and now I regret that. Because now, look at the biggest game, the biggest game in the world that's having the largest amount of anticipation, drops in November, and there will be no physical copy. Not only that, but the base game with extra skins, that's it, extra skins, is $20 more, and it's $100 for a video game. $100.
It's not even just okay. So we're talking about GTA 6 for those that don't know, but you're
Yeah.
wrong. It's not just skins. It's a whole bunch of the shops that, from what I could tell, because for some reason I ended up having this autoplay for me, which is weird because I don't play video games. I've never played GTA 5. The last Grand Theft Auto game I played was Grand Theft Auto 3.
You seem like a Vice City guy to me.
I never played Vice City. I saw people play it. Friends that played Grand Theft Auto 2 really kind of burned me on Grand Theft Auto. Anyway, so it's stores that, from what they can tell, there's no alternate, like no other for some different clothing stuff, mod shops for vehicles apparently, and stuff like that. If you don't pay them the extra, get it.
Yeah, so you're talking about a component that is base game. It's not extra maps. It's base game, and they want to gate that at $100. That's
They're selling it for 80 for the stuff, and then giving you the option to once you start playing it and realize, oh fuck, they paywalled a bunch of the like basic things in the game behind $20.
$5
Now,
says it doesn't come out in November.
I've never been a guy that has a problem with DLC, right?
Oh, I like
I've
DLC.
never had a problem. Like, I played the shit out of Halo 3, right?
Sure.
And every, 4 or 5 months, they'd put out a map pack that had 3 maps in it, whatever. It's like $12, $13. You buy this bit of DLC and you got some extra stuff to the game. But it didn't make the base game any less playable. It didn't make multiplayer any less playable. You just wouldn't get matched in with anybody that had that map, right? That's just the way it was.
Hey, Viking.
Hey, Viking.
And so I've never had an issue with that. It's the paywalling essential features to a game that is the issue. And then the issue that the reason why I played Halo and not Call of Duty, Call of Duty eventually became like microtransactions. You could buy stuff to make it easier to win. Or the more you played, the better gear you got, made it easier to beat other people.
Play advantage,
I like that. I like that to be an equal playing field. It didn't matter if you had played 10,000 hours or 1 hour. It came down to your skill and not how much time or money you had put into the game.
Yeah.
And
I agree, right? Like, I'm a huge Call of Duty guy, right? I like Battlefield, especially Battlefield 1. You've heard me talk about it. I love Call of Duty. But when they started making microtransactions, pay-to-win weapons, which came out in, I want to say, Call of Duty 2 or 3, there was a new weapon. And then, buying map packs, sure. Because, you want to increase longevity of your game. I understand that. But those should be free. If you want, because then people are still buying your game, but you want to tax people who are already playing your game to get more money. And and remember, Call of Duty is in a cycle, or was in a cycle. I guess it's not anymore. But it was a new game every year, and now they're reusing maps, not just one, which is like Nuketown. And everybody, if you've played Call of Duty, you know Nuketown. Everybody knows Nuketown. But I was fine with them making one reused map, okay? But you're telling me that your engineers on a $100 million game cannot create new arenas in every cycle.
Mm-hmm.
I just and yes, fan favorites fine. Have a fan favorite pack and make sure it's included in the game, right? Because that's a fan favorite. It should draw people in. But I'm telling you, like when they went to loot crates where you could buy tokens for loot crates, that's infuriating. I warned people digital assets are a negative, and I work purely in digital assets. But I'm not some mega corporation. Everything I make is living content that will be there for as long as I can. And even now, I'm trying to stretch out into new servers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is a really hot topic with me because I warned people as soon as I saw that DVD thing. I was like, you guys got to start buying DVDs of your favorite TV shows. Look, they censored Community. They've censored American Dad. They've censored Family Guy. They've removed content. And now Sony being a movie studio, or I guess they're not a studio, but a production, I don't know what the term is, but has the gall.
I don't know what the term is either.
Exactly. They have the gall to pull 550 movies that you've already bought? Gee.
Yep.
Imagine going up to a kid that just bought a ice cream and just grabbing it and saying, "That's mine. I'm going to take it back from you."
No, a car, dude.
You know what? Now that you put it that way, it sounds fine.
Right?
It sounds okay. I get it now. It's fun. It's fun. It's amusing. I get it now.
Right? Value.
Luke,
That's what
listen.
it is.
This is a potential new revenue source for you. Okay. So for those that don't know, Luke does D&D night on Friday night. That's why he's normally not here.
Yeah.
Have you considered adding loot crates and pay to win to your D&D games on Friday night? You just have a little meeting out front. Like, listen, you're like the guy from Clerks. Like, little man,
Gargman, even
15
Bluey
bucks
has
in my hand. Right? It's just like, I'm going to level up your fireball 2 levels, $15.
It really bugs me. I'm sorry. I get really wound up because I live in the world of digital assets, and it makes me look bad. Thanks, Luke. Thanks for helping. You're so helpful. I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't mean to get so wound up. I saw it in the pre-show, and I was hoping we could avoid it.
Hey, Maker, I may need some help hyping up a giveaway.
Yeah, sign me up. How can I help?
I promise I won't break you and cause you to reset on live stream again.
Listen. That did not help the rumor that I'm a robot, okay? That was not beneficial to me avoiding the rumor that I'm a robot, okay? That was not helpful, Luke. By the way, I got to repair her. I got LDO when I told them the sob story of how I broke her. They're like, yeah, we can help you with some fans. And then they're like, you broke the housing? I was like, I broke the housing. I told Polymaker. They're like, okay, well, we can help you fix your favorite machine. So, again, I got to put the time in, but, yeah. For those of you who don't know, when I went through a period in time, I'm a disabled streamer, I produce content, but I went through a time where I had no working machines. Digital Dragon, in his infinite wisdom and kindness, approached KB3D and said, hey, can we get him a machine? Can we get him something? So now I have a Voron 0 FHW, or it's a Voron 0.2 actually, FHW, and it is my model making machine. I make miniatures on it. It's the specific task for it. Not only that, but it prints everything like you guys were saying earlier. Well, what if we want to print other materials? Well, it prints everything from PLA to ABS. And because it's a Clipper-enabled machine, which is very important, we can put a Vivid, we can put an armored turtle, we can put a turtle box on it, we can do a filament AMS unit or MMU or pallet, and that is probably the greatest machine I've ever seen. But they tricked me. They tricked me to promote it. Stop laughing.
Tricked.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we did. Yes, we did.
Oh.
It was loads of fun, too.
You know what? Can you not? Can you just not? What? Can you not do that? You're going to embarrass me?
You can be embarrassed?
That's the fun part.
I am a human being. I'm not a robot. If I
Sure.
were a robot, it'd be against my core programming to tell you I'm a robot. So I'm most certainly not a robot. I do human things.
Unless you hacked yourself.
Like what? Oh, that's right. I have to be at least a little bit
I
nice. She
eat
did
food.
get out in the sun once or twice.
Yeah, see?
Food.
I eat food.
So ironically, with this whole digital ownership thing with Sony, there's already been preemptive class action lawsuits that I found out haven't actually been filed, but the petitions for plaintiffs are being circulated right now.
Good.
And once those actually get enough plaintiffs, those will be filed in California, which has some of the strongest consumer protection laws in the United States. Now, the question is whether they can actually win those lawsuits or not depends on the wording of the contract and if anybody actually has screenshots or imagery of, when they purchased it, how was it sold?
Well, you should have a receipt. You should have a receipt with the information.
Well, it's not that.
It's not the receipt. It's the EULA.
Oh.
You have the
EULA.
original EULA, and that's the thing is, all the time, like how many emails a week do you get about, oh, we're changing the terms of our privacy policy? Do you read it?
But it's not even just that.
All 180 pages of it, where they basically say at the very end that we're going to sell all your shit to whoever's willing to pay for it?
But it's not even just that. It's the imagery that you look at when you go to, like Amazon. When you go to buy a movie on Amazon digitally, it says buy it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That literally means in all literal terms that you own that forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever the pretext is, yeah.
Now, if Sony used similar imagery, that means that's a slam dunk case.
Yeah, you have bought that particular asset, period. It's yours, and they don't have the ability to say, well, the storage is getting really expensive. We need to get rid of this older stuff. And you know what? I'd be perfectly fine to say, okay, you want to get rid of the older stuff? That's fine. Send me a DVD copy of it.
Yeah.
Or send me whatever the latest, media is.
Technology.
Send me a
thumb drive of it.
Or give you the raw file of it, like the movie or whatever.
Give me a DRM protected copy, because there is such a thing.
Yep.
You can download a DRM protected copy. That does exist.
Well, it's just not ISO with encryption, right?
Well, there's a little bit more to it, but yeah.
It's just a CD image.
It's an image that has a specific code in it that talks back to the internet and says, oh, look, this is a authorized copy. But yeah, so there's all sorts of different things that, they could have done, but they didn't do.
Are you shaking a bottle of testers?
Not testers, but yes.
I thought you made a peach shaker.
Listen,
but in the bigger scheme of things, in the bigger scheme of things, what happens with all of our digital files across the internet? This could actually set precedent.
Well,
Yeah.
then it becomes like a privacy issue too, because there's so many. Like when you deal with a lawyer.
I don't think it's ever going to make it in front of to the point where there's a ruling. Okay. I am sure that Sony pulled the plug on this, knowing full well that a class action lawsuit would come down the way. And with that, did it with a slush fund attached to it to pay off whoever filed the class action lawsuit, to be able to pay them off and walk away. They did not do this expecting nobody to file a class action lawsuit. I can assure you. And I'm not saying that that's wrong.
This is Sony UK.
We're never going to get that can be used in the future. I keep throwing stuff in a trash can with no trash bag.
Plans.
That's hilarious.
That's future.
That's gonna work really well for
I have the opposite problem. I have a trash bag with no trash can.
And ironically, there was just recently a $7.8 million class action settlement tied to Sony's digital video game vouchers that had no relation to this. So they're already in the hot seat with the U.S. government.
But I will say, 2 years ago, when they announced no more DVDs, I was warning people, buy physical copies. Everybody says, oh, make you're paranoid, you're paranoid. Every time I look at this technology thing, I look at the extreme of it, and oddly enough, we're in the worst timeline, so that's where we always go. Every
You know
time.
what? I'm going to blame it on that one little town in Virginia that just shut down a data center.
Oh, it's retaliation?
Yep. Sony couldn't start up their new data center, so it's retaliation.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're getting ready to break ground on a data center. And
That
we
was a
just
joke,
found
by the
out,
way.
and we
What's
just
it called?
found out that my county paid to have a solar farm installed several years back. And our grid
Oh,
power has
Lord.
been stable because the whole purpose was to stabilize the grid power. And all of a sudden, our grid power has gone to shit lately. And we're finding out that Duke Progress is like, oh, well, any power hitting the grid is ours to redistribute at our whim. They got that added to the legislation. So they're taking our power that we're generating and sending it over to Raleigh. Meanwhile, we're taking brownouts and blackouts. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, we're not even under weather. How are we losing power? And it's the folks further east of us in the bigger city that's stealing all the power. I'm just like, this is, ugh.
And meanwhile, your power bill keeps going up.
Oh, God, yes. My power bill goes up. My water bill goes up. And once again, they got it allowed to be passed in legislation that not even within the state, within their service region, they can increase due to the hurricanes that happened, 3 frickin' years ago? And so, yeah, our energy bills just keep going up and up.
It's almost like it's mismanaged, and there's like people who are upset. Gee, it's almost like that was warned about. But those with that influence didn't listen.
Who has influence?
Could be worse. You could have PSE&G, and they could be burning down half of your state every year.
Sure.
Speaking of burning things down, how about that filament dryer?
Which one?
All of them.
Let's see.
Because I have two creatalities inside of me.
Which brand do you want to talk about, Kern?
Well, it's just the whole. It's become, well, the show note says it's become a whole ecosystem of its own and an entire market of its own, or rather, an entire hobby, I guess, of its own of just drying filament.
Well, remember, I tried to sell off 3 designs for filament drying machines.
I mean, we now have entire companies being spun up just for doing that one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that new EBOS machine looks pretty exciting.
So, on the topic of filament drying, right?
What I was trying to lead into, Alex.
I've not read the notes today.
I've
There
got
were
a
notes?
small situation that has occurred. And I don't know if anybody can see this. And I cleaned this print up. Unfortunately, I don't have one that's not cleaned up. But this is PET CF. Printed out of the bag, printed absolutely beautifully. No issues whatsoever. I printed stuff with it and then put it in a resealable bag, set it on the shelf for a month, and then tried to print with it, dried it for a day and a half, and crazy weak layer lines, just stringing, not even like stringing, but just like it, like there was no retraction whatsoever when you were printing. It was just um, absolutely horrendous, even after drying it. So I don't know if PET is just an extremely hygroscopic filament. I know that says you got to keep it dry, right? But for it to absorb that much moisture and have that much issue in such a short period of time, um, I, I'm more than a little annoyed.
Well, one of the things is carbon fiber is super porous.
Yes, yes.
That's like the pet itself. It's kind of in a little bit. It's not crazy. Like, but remember pet G and stuff. You know, you get the stringing, you get the elongation of the polymers. That's normal. That's like I'm not saying that you're missing anything, but it's the carbon fiber that gets you every time because carbon fiber itself is super porous.
Issue. I would be like hygroscopic and it's like throw it back in the dryer for a day or two. But when you can't dry it out, that's an issue.
What are
Because
you
after it
drying
was
it
still
at?
70,
Yeah, I
Okay.
would have done it 80C for at least 16 hours.
80 or 85.
I don't have anything that'll go that high.
Son
Yeah,
Lewis,
a lot of our drives won't go that high.
I've
Your
got an
printer bed does.
S4 and a Fixa Dry, and neither
Your
one of
enclosed
them will
printer
go
does
that
it.
high.
Printer printer bed does it.
Yeah, the bed is that hot, but the
yeah,
overall
the chamber doesn't
atmosphere
get that
isn't.
hot.
Yeah, so I've been drying filaments on printers for 10 years at this point, and what I do is I grab one of these babies, poke some holes in it, place it on the bed, put the bed on and leave it on. That's it. That's all you need. Simplest dryer that we all have accessible.
It's just slow.
It is slow, yeah. It takes
It is because the cardboard absorbs moisture, but it does legitimately work. And another trick to do is put a box around it or cover it in garbage bags.
So I did some filament that was, so this is a couple of years ago. So I wasn't sure about using cardboard for a high temp because I was drying at 90C. So
That's
I wasn't
pretty
sure
warm.
about the cardboard. So what I did was I took one of my beds that I wasn't on a printer, and I wrapped the whole thing in a bag of foil with the filament in it, poked some holes in the top of the foil, and just left it for a week. It worked.
Yeah,
It
it's a
dried.
little overkill, but yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it
Like
did work.
if you have a heated chamber and the bed going, it will work. You just have to have a recirculating fan going, so you have to turn your internal fan on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Need one
And
of those
like
dryers from Dan from West 3D. The toaster dryer. But yeah. I was just highly annoyed by it. And also we need to get the standard filament dryer temperature much higher than it is right now.
Yeah.
We
45 is
it
just not
needs
enough.
well, I think most of them will go up to like 65 or 70, but we need to get them up to the standard dryer goes up to, what is it, 90 for nylon or something like that.
I've got one
Yeah,
up
But
here that
T-Tube
only
goes up
does
to
50,
80.
and that annoys
Well,
me.
and once you start getting into some of those filaments too, the filaments themselves are expensive. And really, I mean, I went in on the group buy with one of the big heaters, like the cabinet or dryer, the cabinet dryer with KB3D. And
yeah,
that's really what you need at some of these filaments. It is amazing how well it works. And I can keep that entire cabinet down in single digits humidity. on very little energy once it gets there.
Oh, and just
that's
for
what we really need. The problem is when you're talking about a $700-800 to $1,000 cabinet, most people can't afford that.
Well, and they don't
Yeah.
need the volume. They
and
just
also
don't.
let's clarify for the people that are watching that aren't known don't know about heaters and drying and
Yeah.
all that stuff. We're talking engineering filaments for drying.
Yeah.
If you're just drying PLA, anything will do.
Yeah.
Just a bag with desiccants will do. Petchy, get a decent dryer that can do 50, 60 C and you're good. But for engineering filament, it's a whole different ballgame. It's a similar thing with printers. You can print PLA on any printer, but you cannot print those engineering stuff on any printers. You need a specialized tool. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And just to be perfectly clear, this is considered an engineering filament, by the way. A lot of
What do you
people
got
say
there?
it's not. It is.
What do you got there?
Fiberon.
PET,
Yeah.
GF, yeah.
Oh, hold on.
That-
Hold on.
whole-
Hold on. I was going to take a break, but give me a second.
The
That's
whole
this.
the whole Fiberon
Yes.
series
Anything
is...
anything Fiberon is an engineering filament.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, like, even
That does
nylon,
not mean
right?
that does not mean that PLA carbon fiber is an engineering filament. It is not.
No, it is not.
It's a fancy filament. It's a cool filament, but it's not an engineering filament. You can print that on anything with a hardened nozzle. That's it. But it's a really cool filament. I do have to admit.
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things that's frustrating me this week. So I thought I'd share.
Well, I have printers that do 50C, and then I have printers that do 80C. There is commonly available from one of the filament manufacturers, actually two of them, a very reasonable priced and semi-open source design machine. They publish the STLs for the body and the machine itself, and there are people who actually go and assemble it different ways, right? So, but always remember, your humidity, your ideal humidity for most things is anywhere between 15 and 22%, no more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which a lot of people don't understand, because actually with PLA, if you dry it too much, it becomes too gummy, and it won't print.
Yeah.
I have melted a whole spool of PLA.
Yeah, it just becomes gummy, and you can't use it.
I threw it away a couple of years ago, but I did have a spool that looked like it was a good spool, but the entire thing was fused together.
Yep.
Because I dried it at 140 C.
That'd do it.
Yep.
I'm
Don't do that.
microwaved a roll of PLA.
Yeah, we're going
That's
to
fine.
In the middle.
continue on our filament drying thing. So a few months ago, Cookie Cad was gracious enough to send me a bunch of rolls of filament.
This project is exciting.
That was, they knew was bad. They told me it was bad. They sent it to me for free. And they're just like, see if you
You are
can
a
do
sucker.
anything with it. So we have tried drying it many different ways, and now we're going to go the opposite direction, where we are going to make it extremely wet. And
Tell us about the processes that you used to dry it previously, Alex.
Okay, so far we have taken it out of the box and tried to print it. That was probably the most successful we've been with it. It printed like it was completely dry, right? It's a clear filament. It's their funfetti filament, so it's various color sparkles in it. But it was brittle. It kept breaking. Tried printing with it like on Mark III, because it's not going through a bone tube. It's not getting bent in different directions. And it still did it. So then we threw it in regular filament dryers. And since I have 12 spools of it, we tried a bunch of different lengths of time. I think we ended up with, I think I had dried it for like 6 days or something, and just kept trying it every day. Then we put it in a vacuum chamber pulled a vacuum on it,
Why did you put it in a
left it
vacuum
in
chamber, though? What does a vacuum chamber do?
because so when you pull a vacuum, it makes water essentially boil off at room temperature. So it would make any moisture in the filament boil out of the filament. Essentially, long story short, extremely oversimplified version.
Yep. Good answer.
All we successfully managed to do was make it way more brittle than what it was to start with.
Yeah, because what you did when you
So
did that is, if I don't know if anyone's had freeze dried candy before, because that's the exact
yes,
same thing, but they do it at low temperatures. So they put it in, they boil all the moisture and then freeze it. What that does is fluffs it up because all of that moisture expands because water expands when it becomes a gas when you boil it, even under pressure. And so whatever little hollow orifices was in that filament just becomes bigger. And for
yeah.
most filaments, it doesn't
Dimensionally, it's
explode.
still fine. It's
Yeah,
still
so
fine
It is,
dimensionally.
but it becomes
dimensionally it
brittle.
would be fine because how filaments are made, when you stretch it, you kind of seal in that core. So most of that expansion happened in the
The outer shell.
lengthwise,
Yeah, the outer shell.
and look, considering the size of what we're looking at, the orifices, it's not that much, but it's enough that it'll be super super brittle if you do that.
Yeah. So now we're going to hydrate the
Hydrate it.
filament. We're going to make it super moist for Terry.
Oh, I love it
Um,
moist.
um,
Good
Moist.
moist
yes.
sandwich, like a sloppy
Super
Joe or
moist.
something.
So, yeah. It won't
Luke's
take.
looking
It
down.
wouldn't. It's not going to take much this week. I've actually moved all my filament. I'm storing it in the swimming pool to keep it dry,
Oh,
as
that's good
opposed
idea.
to in the garage. um,
I like Tulsa Skin has commented, put it in the dishwasher. That'll be
yeah.
cool. Just
You could run a
Yeah.
cold
put a
cycle.
put a whole spool in the dishwasher and just run it through.
Steam cycle.
Oh, run a cold cycle. Run it wet, baby. Get it moist.
I could turn tumble off on the dryer and
Yep.
put it to a steam cycle. Turn
Nope.
off tumble and just run the steam
What you do with the
and
dryer is
steam it.
if you have a dryer, a top down dryer, you put in a couple of spools and then you jam something in the middle so it'll keep spinning and drying the filament.
First, you need to put it in the washer. Put some Tide washing soap in there because it's going to be a little dusty. It's old
Well,
filament.
It'll make it
Well, actually,
go smoother also. Softer.
there is a product, and I forget the name of it, but what it does, because the way water works, like for example, if you've ever seen poured water on really dry dirt, it doesn't work, right? You add a little dish soap to it. I forget the term, but there's a way to make water more wet.
Yeah.
So it is absolutely really doable, and you could add that component. Another thing to try is jet dry. Put a loaded spool reel, a spool of filament, in a tub. Add some jet dry, because when I do concrete work when I'm making miniatures, one of the things that I use as a release agent is jet dry. That's for real a process I do.
So all of this is in good fun. Now, here, realistically, as somebody that works in plastics manufacturing, I understand that at this point, this material is hosed, right?
Well, you could reshred it
But
and try extruding it again.
we are, yeah. So you could mix it back in,
No.
but even
Full
then,
shred.
you're degrading um, your end result because
Yes, sir.
this material has been degraded, right? It's not, it doesn't have issues because the filament's too dry or the filament's too wet. It has issues because the material itself has broken down.
Yes.
But
The
what we're
polymer
going to
changes
try to do is see if there's some way to manipulate things enough to make it printable. All right.
And then what I'd like to see is a burp jet made from it, and
What
see how well it does.
what I think that all of this is Alex's excuse to start with a pellet
I
extruder instead.
I agree. I agree.
At
I think
some
that's
point,
what-
you're gonna
one-
figure out that the only way to use that filament is to pelletize it and mix it in with some virgin plastic.
Oh
and,
yeah.
yeah.
Mix it
Or
in.
you'll go down the rabbit hole of homemade extruded schools.
I see that
I
coming.
will
This
pellet-
is a need.
John, you get your John, if you get your what is it, the M1, all right, and Mike has an extruder as well. Both of you guys, Mike. Next time you come down to see me, I'm going to hand you a roll of this filament. And I want you to use it to re-extrude it. All right, John. You get that M1. I'm going to send you a roll of it for you to mess with, pelletize, and see if we can reuse it and percentage material do we need to use with this to get some sort of usable filament out of it? Because the trick is it's a funfetti filament, right? You want the glitter in it. So if you don't want to just be like, oh, we're just going to do this safe and easy. We're going to do 90% virgin, 10% this. And
No.
we know that we're going to get a good result because you don't have the aesthetics that you're going for.
Well, yeah, like
So-
a full cycle. It'd be interesting to do a shred of 200, get a full cycle of 200, then start adding in your additive and see where you get to. But it's like you said, right? Even at a 40% mix, the infill product, the confetti part, at 40% infill mix, you're gonna lose a lot of that. You really will. So it's very interesting. It sounds to me.
Probably needs to be like a 90-10%, like a 90-10, probably.
It could. Well, it depends on how damaged it is. Depends on the polymer chains. It's clearly a mismanufacture, which happens. But I'm very excited to see your results, Alex.
Yeah.
So
John
what's
Undermaker,
not-
it's a polymer. It's just like at the end of the day, it's like gasoline, right? You can get gasoline from the gas station. You can leave it sit, and it after
Split.
a given amount of time, it's still a liquid, but it will not burn and combust the way you want it to any longer. You
It's
can
split,
take and you can add octane boosters back into it, but then at that point, you're basically adding jet fuel to water and just trying to dilute your water now. But it's a good sample set of material that is a known quantity, and it's actually way harder to get material that has issues, known issues that are repeatable issues to do experimentation on than it would be to get good material to do experimentation on. It's actually. I know Luke said it. I was a sucker for taking it, but it was.
I would've taken
it was.
it.
Oh, yeah.
It was worth a shot.
R&D
At
is
the end of the day, you can have a lot of fun with it, and that's the
Yeah.
part, right?
This running through the scientific process of trying to figure things out is fun,
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
Could not agree more. I love R&D.
Clown Hammer, where you been, bud?
What's up, bud?
Yeah. So we talked about soaking it in glycol or mineral oil or something
Ooh,
like
not
that
mineral
to see
oil.
what happens. But I would need a machine that I no longer cared about, at least the extruder and hot end, before I would run that through.
I'm sure
yeah,
Captain might have one.
You basically end up having to build a new head. Because you also
don't have
want
an industry?
you want to build a new head because you actually want to be able to control the amount of torsion the amount of load it puts on the infeed. You want a bunch of control options that aren't normal. I'm sorry, my lights are all crappy today.
So I do have at least I think I do, a machine that I might have access to. Dave, speaking of moist filament and Terry,
Moist.
Moist.
Dave gave Vince a K3 Plus Reality Ender 3 something or another. And at Murph, and Vince is like, "Here, you want this?" As he's walking away with it, I was like, "Sure." I just have no way to get it home, and he's like, "All right, well, next time I see you, I'll get it to you." So that might be a machine that makes a good candidate for experimentation.
I have a machine that I bought for $20 that was going to be that, but not sure anymore. I keep snowballing.
What's that? Project Creep.
Yep.
See, these discussions are why I'll never be able to buy a machine from Luke and then try to have it warranted for any reason. Luke's going to be like, "Yeah, no, I know what kind of shit you get up to. I'm not warrantying that."
By the way,
Yeah, I
speaking
follow
of
your channel, so I'll be able to see the stupid stuff you do too.
by the
Looks
way,
like
speaking of
I
voiding
present to you
warranties,
clip A.
speaking of voiding warranties, the Anycubic Cobra X just got support from Wrinkles.
I have no idea what that means.
Neither do I.
I can talk about the ring call stuff because I'm involved in it. If you want.
There you go.
Yeah, let's
Go
know.
for it.
So I did an install video about a year ago. So for anyone who doesn't know, ring calls is the open source software mod for the Anycubic printers, and so what it does is because Anycubic printers, the Cobra series at least, they run on something called Clipper Go, which is a older forked version of Clipper that's highly modified to use Python and some other scripts to do stuff like so all the pre-print stuff, the start print macro is just it doesn't exist in Clipper Go because it's all handled by a custom Python script. So everything is quite locked down. So you don't have mainsail, you don't have anything. You only what on a stock Anycubic, the only thing that you have is the slicer, and you have to use their slicer to have any sort of remote control. And then they have an app. There's an app.
Of course, there's an app.
So ring calls, what it does is it opens up the printer to Moonraker so that you can use a normal mainsail or fluid if you want to setup. And it also gives you a little bit of customization when it comes to the config. As I said, there's a lot of stuff that is locked down. You can't change it. But we have been able to change mesh size, so number of mesh points in a grid, in the meshing stuff, and all that stuff. And from ring calls, there's also another development which they called vanilla tunneled Clipper, where they grab USB or Ethernet from the SoC that's on the printer and route that through to a Pi, and that gives you full Clipper. The Pi runs full Clipper that controls their SoC, which you pretty much just you bypass everything. So Rinkhouse was made by one person, and I'm not sure what happened, but I do know that this has taken some time. But the person was not able to keep working on the project, and so he pretty much went out to his Discord and said, if there's anyone that wants to take over the development, you're happy to do so. And so they gathered up a little bit of a team of the moderators and some other people that are heavily involved in this. And so now that there's the community fork of the ring calls. So it's not a competition. Let's make that clear. It's a normal progression because for any reason, I'm not sure why, and this happens. We have life. Everyone has a life. They weren't able to keep going, and so they just said, here is everything community can take over. And When that happened, things started moving quickly, really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
So they do weekly builds of the project. They get support for new updates. So anytime any of the Anycubic printers gets the software update or the slicer, they update wrinkles within hours. It's super, super fast.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I've been
It's-
running it on my Cobra S1 since day one of that project being live. Right now, it's actually in a fully 100% original software-wise state. Because, I want to try everything. But I'm also looking at that vanilla tunnel thing to get full clipper on it, considering that I want to integrate a heater on my S1. Because my S1 has a chamber heater already.
The biggest advantage that Wrinkles actually gives, in my opinion, is it proves that the Ace boxes work straight off of Clipper.
Yep, they're 100% Clipper, just pure.
Yes.
And they just work. And also, I want to give a little bit of a shout out to a software that I've been using just for a couple of weeks now. It's called SimplyPrint. And that gives me, on a completely stock Anycubic printer, it gives me a full web UI. And it can also talk to my Ace on that printer. So on my little screen here, I have a universal screen for all my printers. So it normally just runs mainsail for everything. So that's just normal Clipper. And I wanted the Cobra to do that as well, so I got that SimplyPrint installed. Now that had to be installed on a separate device, so I have it on my server. You could set up a little tiny Pi Zero to do it, but I have a server. I just spun it up there. But yeah, so now I have a full screen because the Cobra is on the floor and I don't want to bend over. That's easy.
So, since you're kind of involved in this project, I want to talk to you about something. And we've got somebody else here that is kind of in the same boat as I am a little bit with Luke. I've built plenty of printers that are all completely open, right? Plenty of Vorons and Voron adjacent printers and projects. And I've got a CR10 that has Clipper on it. But then I've got the Centauri Carbon and I've got the Cobra X that I just got. A lot of people ask me about, Open Centauri, and you're talking about this project for the Anycubic Cobra printers. I have no desire to do any of it to those machines, and it's because number one, they work, right?
Yeah.
They still work afterwards.
If they didn't work, I would consider something else. I probably wouldn't have even got them to begin with, right? But does anybody else other than me feel like, okay, I can have two different kinds of machines, one that I tinker with, and then other machines that I just don't have to mess with?
Oh yeah.
Where I can just put filament in them and go, if something breaks, I go buy a replacement part off of Amazon that's official or a knockoff replacement part for them and just go. And I know that oftentimes I seem to be the lone horse, on this podcast of coming to the defense of some of these companies that, are just whatever.
Yeah, so I 100% agree with that. I need two different kinds of printers. I need these guys because that's the reason I'm into 3D printing, the printers themselves. These guys are what is my bread and butter. I want to tinker with these. I want to build them. I want to modify them. I want to find the fun part. I want to find the horrible part. I want to stretch it to its limits. But I also need a printer that I can just say, print this part. I need it by this time, and I just need it to work. That being said, the Cobra S1 was not that. it is now, but I spent a lot of time and some money to modify it to
Yeah.
get
So
to that point.
Well, hold
But
on.
The
right
S1s I
now,
hear mixed stories on. Some people have fantastic luck with them.
yes,
Some
because
people
there's
have
different
terrible luck with
production.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was different production runs, and it seems like if you got a good one, it's good. If you got a bad one, it's horrible. And I
so
had
the
one of the first ones produced.
Yeah. So I have my mini print farm here at the store is Centauri carbons, right? I have 4. Evil Diesel had 2, and I've got my X1Cs if I need to do a multi-material or multicolor print, primarily multicolor print. I'm in the process of swapping all of my Elegoo's out for Kitty Q2s, not because there's anything wrong with the Elegoo's, but simply because I don't sell those and I sell the Q2. The Q2 has a chamber heater, and I love the Kitties. Between my Q2, like doing this Unimog, I was running 6 Kitty printers constantly, round the clock, printing parts, right? Love them. They're great workhorses, and I'm gonna swap out my Elegoo Centauri carbons and put all Kitty Q2s in the back, right? But with
Yeah,
that,
I've
I will
got a
say that
CC1. No
yeah,
problems with it.
yeah, I will say the one thing I like about the Cheaty Q2s, or actually the Cheaties in general, is full access clipper.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hit
that-
the IP address and I get the full fluid interface.
So
There's no BS. I can get to the printer config. I can do whatever I want. Buyer beware type thing, right?
I'm
You'll
I'm
never
currently
get
looking
that
at the
with bamboo.
I'm looking for another, just a replacement for the KS1, and I'm looking at the Carbon 2 or the Cheaty 2. I don't need AMS on those. I just need an ASA workhorse.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at those two, and the fact that the Cheaty is fully open clipper is a big point for me because I do anything that I have is clipper at this point. I don't have a single printer
Yeah.
that
So-
isn't.
yeah.
Well, my content focuses on consumer stuff. Now, I am notoriously known for breaking things. I break everything. And
Really?
really? Yeah, exactly. So that's like for me, because like that's what the market is. Like I understand and I respect you, machine builders. We'll do one here on the channel sooner or later. But the end user just wants a plug and play microwave. That's what they want. So me showing how you can break something and then fix it, and how hard it is or how simple it is, that's like one of the mainstays of what I do on my channel, right? Like we just got STLs from Snapmaker to rebuild parts inside the Artisan. You know, we have to do, because we're now getting filament slippage and heat creep on the bamboo, we're gonna have to do some changes to the bamboo. Now there is aftermarket parts from like companies like Big Tree Tech, but Big Tree Tech does not do parts for every company. So sometimes you got to get a knockoff. Sometimes you got another piece. Like for example, I need to rebuild my J1 because there's a circuit board issue with one of the control heads. So I show the good and the bad. Whereas like the kit built machines are wonderful and they process and they're smart and they're quick and they're capable of things typically at a higher not necessarily higher quality but higher resolution, higher reserve. But for me, having a custom built printer, there's so few people that are interested in that. They want something from Bamboo. They want something from Cheaty. They want something from Snapmaker. They want a Cretality machine. They want a big name that they've heard of. And I've got to show them, well, this is how you break them. This is what you get from them. And remember, my focus is on very small things because printing big things on a printer is easy. Printing small things on a printer is very, very small.
Yep. Yeah. So the Cobra S1 that I have is a really early released model or built. And
Oh, wow. Hold on.
For me,
Hold on. There's a trigger in the chat. Alex,
That was
check chat.
me.
Oh, okay.
I gifted 5 memberships.
Oh, what a
Nice.
sweetie. Where's mine?
It's all random. Twitch apparently you can like specifically say, but YouTube, you
So,
can.
what I had to do to fix my Cobra S1, because I had one of the Monday models where everything just didn't work. It wouldn't level at all from the start. Me being me, instead of returning it like I should have, I designed a custom bed and a custom bed gantry to be CNC'd and laser cut to fix it. So I spent about $200 fixing a $400 printer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
But
I
it
will
does work.
say,
Now, I don't have to level at all. I don't have to do a mesh. I haven't done a mesh in months. I actually I carried it up 4 floors, put it down, and started another ABS print. It just works.
Yeah.
So the
I will say
reason
the
that
cheating machines are something that I've been extremely curious about since the Cheaty 3 Max. A friend of
Yeah,
mine, a family member of mine, got one. He doesn't know anything about Clipper, got extremely frustrated with it, and kind of never used it. And I really wanted to get the machine off of him because it has a
because
chamber heater in it.
and
But
Clipper.
yeah, so I think that that is a really nice halfway point where it's a out of the box, it's just an appliance, it just works machine for those that want that. But because it is Clipper and just, you know, you can do whatever you want with it, it's really nice for the enthusiasts as well, right? So it walks that line between both worlds, and I really appreciate that about Cheaty. And I don't, uh, Luke. Apparently, all of them are like that, or do they have ones that are more locked down than others?
No, they're all like that.
So
So
I really like that, and Sovol's going down that line, and I really appreciate that about Sovol.
I think
Um,
there's a thing. Just a few years ago, Clipper was difficult to get into, but it's getting way better. And I think one of the reasons is that there's more people that knows how Clipper code works, so you can set up stuff. Because what you can do with macros on Clipper is amazing. Just so we
yeah,
released the Delta Flyer there, and also the Rook. I don't have a normal Rook. I have a 2020, but the way I was able to just use vanilla Clipper, no add-ons, nothing extra added, and just make it work 100% of the time. And that is one not built by me, but built by someone that has no idea what they're doing. And they were able to build the printer, set it up, install all the software, and start printing in about 8 hours. It's amazing. But that is using a lot of baseline work just to get stuff going. So removing anything that needs to be put into the console. No typing at all. That was my first thing. You want to be able to set up your entire printer but never type anything at all. If you can do that, all golden. It just works.
yeah.
the uh, the
I
the
just
big
know that now
reason,
I got to go see
yeah.
Luke so I can play with cheating machines and take home a gently used Centauri Carbon for free.
Yeah.
For free, I
The
thought it
big,
was $1. Now you're going down to
yeah.
free.
Okay, I'm a buyer at $1. I'm a buyer at a
Okay.
dollar.
You know, the big reason that I brought up the whole rankles situation was a lot of people complain that they have to use Anycubic specific slicer.
Yeah,
That you can't use Orca with Anycubic.
So
correct.
I am
And
frustrated by that, and that's one thing Sovol's literature says is their slicer is
you know,
go download Orca Slicer.
literally.
Yeah, so
So if anything, Rankles, if you install it, the machine acts exactly the same.
yep.
Number one, there's no change in the way the machine works,
There's no
and you can
config
just
change or all at
yeah
all. It just opens it up for you to use mainsail and Orca. That's it. That's the
yeah
base
you
thing.
you literally just use Orca at that point.
Yep. Yeah, so I've
That's the biggest benefit for me is I can just use Orca if I want to, or if
yeah,
I want, I still can use the Anycubic slicer.
exactly. The one thing is that you have to choose where you want the camera to be visible. Do you want it
That
in
is
Orca
true.
or in mainsail, or do you want it in that cubic slicer? And
That
you
is
all know
true.
where you want it. That being said, I've been using the Cobra S1 stock now, so stock slicer, and it just works. There's some features that I might want to have. Also, I'm moving all of the slicing from any of my computers over to the server, and that's gonna make me have to install ring calls to get back to Orca.
Yeah.
You keep leaving out and all the CNC guys here have forgotten to mention something that goes along with these machines pre, I guess, the desktop revolution. These all used to run on computers. Every machine shop I've ever worked in that had CNC, they were not networked. They had their own computer, full PC cabinet that ran the machine. Now, granted, they're older machines. So, we're seeing Raspberry Pis and stuff pick up that duty. Like, let's be real. But one of the things that people keep forgetting is that the more horsepower you put into the processor, the better the machine tends to be within boundaries. Because building a gaming PC to run your mill won't do anything. It won't make it any better. But all of these machines did start on separate machines. You could do a render or a CAD program on whatever you're doing, bring it over and load it into the machine, but they were never networked. They're always standalone machines, and they were running on PC, so they had a monitor, a keyboard, and everything. So it's to go from that to basically a microwave with the A1 with the bamboo stuff. That's a big leap in 15 years.
So when I went to school in the late 2010s, so I graduated in 2008 in auto repair. And back then,
car guy, out. Car guys are out.
So back then, part of that it was learning CNC, and already at that point they were still looking at the future, which was to send the file from the original computer to the machine. We had to learn that you had to program the machine, you had to go over, and then you had to set up the tools and all that stuff. It wasn't automated at all, and that's not. Well, I say it's not too long ago. It's starting to become long ago. But.
I literally just found a Bridgeport mill that still had a punch card PC hooked up to it.
Wow,
nice.
No, punch cards work really good. The reason why they never got rid of them is because they work really, really good. They do, especially on mills. Lathes not so much because lathes have weird centers, but I can tell you right now, punch card mills. And what's nice about punch card mills is they are easily enough to swap over to a CN controller.
Yeah.
Right? Let's be honest. If your machine's running on a Raspberry Pi 4 or 5, your machine is running on a computer that's more powerful than most laptops sold 10 years ago.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
And I'll be
I was able to use a Big Tree Tech Pi 2, install a desktop, and do full modeling, because you can open Onshape on it, and slice a file, and then send it to Clipper that was already installed on that same thing. So I had I just as a test setup to prove my own point to myself, I set up a printer with a Pi and a screen and keyboard. That's it, and it just works.
Well, I've been chasing that because my skill set doesn't lean to that programming and understanding, which I have to learn. I understand. I have my weaknesses, but I've been on the train of doing other projects using printer components, because if you look at any printer board going all the way back to Ender 3s, the board is not fully utilized. There are plenty of open ports that can do more than what you would expect. And it's crazy to me that no one goes down this route. I was talking to Chuck from Filament Fridays. Even he agreed on that. It's there are so many old technologies that are not garbage. They just sit on a shelf because nobody knows what to do with them. And there's thousands of them, tens of thousands of them in still warehouses that we can use them for. So it's definitely the fact that we're going to the microwave style 3D printer is good and bad. And the schism between big box and artisan is growing every day. We've talked about that here on the show. We've talked about it privately. We've talked about it over on my show. But it's growing every day. But the end consumer, and I've said it before, does not want to be able to turn LEDs on with a push of a button. They want a microwave. That's all they want. They want a replicator. That Star Trek. What's that Star Trek thing? Replicator, right? They want pick a file. It picks colors, picks layer height, picks supports. Yeah, exactly. They want a cell phone. They want a push and go, no questions asked. So.
And we're getting close to it, but also there's a couple of paths in 3D printing, and I love all of them. You have the industrial, you have the hobbyist that most of us do, which is the tinkering, the having fun, experimenting, and then you have the names who we shall not be mentioned, who is going towards that single print. I'm scrolling on my model or on my phone on some sort of social media. Hey, this looks cool. Print.
Yep.
I do believe we will be there at some point, and I don't think it's far away that you're scrolling on Facebook or TikTok or YouTube or whatever, and some sort of creator talks about their 3D printed thing. You'll be able to just print in the app, hit print, and your printer's going to wake up in the corner and start doing things.
Remember, you're never going to own that file. It will be a limited lease, single run, so you can't run 20 of them. I agree with you 100%, and that's going back to that digital media thing we were talking about earlier. It's going to be, and then one day it might just be gone. Boom! You can never get it again. It's crazy.
And let's be honest, right? Even those of us that are tinkerers and and our hobby is the 3D printer and not the 3D printing. Started off buying a machine where, holy shit, if it had just come out of the box and just printed as an appliance, we would have been over the moon and none of us would have been here in this rabbit hole. That is what all of us, by and large, wanted when we bought a printer. And, you know, a lot of us rally against it now, but that's what you wanted when you bought your first Ender 3.
Ender 3s were the promise of push and go. Yeah, they were. Yeah. They were a promise of push and go. Let me tell you, they were not.
No.
And I don't rally against that because it's just a different facet, right, of the overall environment. And that's where I try and tell people here in the store, it's like, I want to be the person sitting here building things. You know, I love building printers and reviving old printers and tech and stuff. But I also know 90% of the people that are coming through my front door just want the microwave. And thank you, Bamboo, for building it and showing everybody it can be done.
Opening up the hobby.
Because
that's what they did.
We have got everybody coming out now that's got it, and now they're trying to do the new hotness with the tool changers. Don't know what FlashForge was doing with the Pro.
Nope.
But yeah, I'm a FlashForge reseller. I've got an open purchase order right now to get my Creator 5 and Creator 5 Pros that I haven't paid the bill on, so they're not shipping yet, because I got wind through the community that there was issues, not through the company.
Yeah,
and
so
I am a reseller. I am the face of them to customers here, right? Yeah. And that kind of makes me a little angry. But it's, now let's see what they do, right? Now the Creator 5 is one thing. That one's fine. It's the issue with the Pro and where they put the heater. If they just change their macro to do their little stupid poop in the bottom in a different corner, it probably wouldn't have been a bad thing. It was some design decisions in the last minute. You know, Creality with, sorry, not Creality, Elegoo with the original Centauri Carbon of colors coming in Q3.
Oh, yeah.
And it turned into Q3 of the entire next year. And I got a call literally from a lady that's 3.5 hours away in South Carolina, completely different state. She bought the canvas, installed it following the video on 2 machines, and neither one worked.
Oof.
And her husband is about to drive 3.5 hours to bring both of them to me so that I can try and get them to work or return them to stock.
Yeah. Oof.
So I'm like, that's bad, right? If you're going to send that
Absolutely.
out, you have to assume that the person at the distant end has good enough instructions that they can install it and make it run. And if not, you're alienating your customer base.
Oh yeah.
Now, I will say this is that for most of us who, the 3D printers are the hobby, if we had bought that first machine and it had just worked out of the box, it would probably be over in the corner collecting dust and we would have moved on to another hobby because we would have gotten bored.
So
Yeah.
I got into 3D printers because of a hobby, and then the 3D printers became the hobby
Yeah.
because
Same.
I immediately just, this is more fun. Forget that shit. I'm going that way instead.
Well, you know what got me, right? I have the secret to it. Ender 3 V1 cannot print TPU.
Yep.
Somebody said that you cannot print TPU on an Ender 3 V1.
Yes, you
But
can.
they make it. But they make TPU. You can get TPU, but you can't run it on it. That's what
Back in
got
the day,
me.
you couldn't. Yeah, but
That's what
now
got me. And that's what lured me into the world of 3D printing. Not just because I do like localized manufacturing. I do like desktop CNC. I come from the manual side of it all, and I come from the big side of it all. But there's something really empowering and really amazing about it. But yes, Alex, you're 100% right. If it had become, I could just throw a model on it. It made the thing I wanted. I never had any problems with it. It did exactly and everything it was supposed to do. I would have moved on to something else by now for sure.
Yeah.
Because even now I'm still tinkering with big machines, right?
Yeah. So we just had last week, we had Misplaced Moose on the pod. We were talking about how for my audience size, so many of them end up in buying blaster kits and building Nerf blasters, and had just had the same discussion with another company about how, like, for the channel size, the amount of sales that are generated from my content, it's very disproportional to what everybody else does. And I told him, I was like, listen, here's the deal. My audience, by and large, are people that enjoy projects,
Yeah,
be
making
it
stuff.
building a printer or building a
Daisy.
Nerf blaster. It's a project that's something to do with our hands. And we get to see a really cool end result from it, be it a blaster, a RC car, a printer, whatever it is we're making. We enjoy the building of something, right?
Yeah.
Where a lot of people that are, might be just, Nerf content creators, their audiences in the Nerf, but they have their interest in actually building the Nerf blaster may not be there. They want to buy Nerf blaster. They want to play with Nerf blaster. So my audience, I don't know of anybody that bought a pre-printed, pre-assembled blaster, but if you're selling a kit for a blaster, my audience is probably interested in that. So you gotta match. Sometimes the end user is not exactly what you expect. And I mean, we've rallied several times about printer companies sending printers to people that
Don't get me started,
their
Alex.
audience is never going to buy anything from you.
Alex, I already
That's
went on a
not what they're
tirade once
interested
today.
in.
Don't. I don't need your tirade.
They don't even build the printer.
Yeah. I need to go. I have a thunderstorm above me, and the wind is starting to pick up, and it's lightning out.
Yeah. It's
We love you,
past,
brother.
I'm in a metal building.
it's past
So
quitting time, and
have
we're
a
going to end
great
the
evening,
show a little
everybody.
bit different than we normally do. Normally, I let everybody go around and kind of give their spiel. We did that at the beginning of the show, so I'm just going to say now, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and hitting the like button, because I know you did all those things already. Make sure you check out Luke over at Digital Dragon 3D on Twitch and YouTube. Specifically YouTube. We want him to have to pay more attention to the YouTube comments. I had to go over to Twitch and comment on Twitch to get him to read it.
It's
Yeah, he
obnoxious.
never reads YouTube.
No,
Never.
you're assuming I didn't read it.
No.
Maybe I read it and I just didn't want to respond.
And check out Free Heathen Workshop on Twitch and YouTube. Captain Kerr on Twitch and YouTube. Canrog on YouTube doing some way different content than I do, but really interesting content. And then Jonathan, of course, hanging out in the Discord. Make sure you come join the Rugrats crew on the Discord, hanging out in voice chat. Link in the description. Links in the descriptions to everybody's social. Have a good night. Have a good 4th of July. Stay safe. Don't blow off any digits. We love you. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.